Yo, what's good, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry's Sisters review. This is season 6, episode 16, entitled Relentless Pursuit. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff if you choose to. If not, just sit back, relax, and we're going to get right into this messy thing. Now, this might be the shortest episode review of Sisters that I've ever done. Because what was last night's episode? I don't know. Still trying to figure that out. So let's just go. Zach and Heather. Heather comes to get her child because, Zach took him from her house. She's there with police escort. One of the main things I want to say about this scene is that this was the perfect opportunity for Zach to tell law enforcement that he believes that his son is getting physically abused while he's in his mother's care. Michael already has bruises on his back. He demonstrated that his leg was hurting him. Show the officer the bruises. He did nothing of the sort. And I was like, you know what, Tyler, this is just, I don't understand, and I don't try to anymore. But I'm like, you had the perfect opportunity to make your case. Even though the police officer told him that he needed to go to family court, which is true when you're dealing with paternity, when you're dealing with custody, all that stuff like that, you need to go to family court. And I'm just like, this is not the time for Zach and Heather to be going back and forth. It really isn't. And if you watched our Sister's Keeper last night with me and Erica Vane, because we go live right after the episode on her channel, one of the things that we discussed was it almost seems like Zach expects so much out of people while he doesn't hold himself to that same standard. To say that Heather doesn't love her child, she does. She may not love him the way in which Zach feels she should, or she may not take care of her son the way Zach feels she should. There's no doubt in my mind that yes, she does love her child. However, she may need some help. She may not have had that example growing up, and that's not an excuse, but I'm sure there are some deficiencies going on in her life that is a clear example as to why she's functioning the way that she's functioning. For the same reason we had to watch Zach, and it's amazing how he gets so much grace, being that he has mommy issues, but nobody else can have any other issues that may resort to them being a certain way. And there, for them, it's an excuse, but for Zach, it's a justifiable reason why he can act the way that he act. He's pretending, oh my God, don't talk like that around him. I'm like, but you just called her and her friends hoes. So what's the difference? So I'm just like, oh, Lord. I just wish that this particular storyline was different, that it went into a different direction where we could see the struggle of co-parenting when parents have different views and morals and identities. But that's not where we're going to get. We're going to get Heather is horrible. Heather is a bad mom. Heather is abusing her child, even though she was acting as if she did not know that abuse was taking place. Her response to that was, he's just a little slow. And I'm like, okay. Because a lot of people were saying that, he's not even potty trained. He's still wearing diapers or pull-ups or whatever he has on. And I have a friend who has 2 severely autistic children who are not potty trained. They both wear pull-ups and they're 16 years old. So I'm like, before we go into, oh, she's a bad mom because blah, 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 let's find out exactly what's going on with Michael. Is it just a poor excuse of her parenting or mothering him? Or are there some real issues going on there? But anyway, moving right along, we're going to skip over that. Done with that. Hayden and Tamara probably was my favorite scene of the night. Simply because Tamara is playing the hell out of Hayden. Now, I know I've been on this thing like, dang, does she really like him? What's going on here? The more I watched last night's episode, I said, Tamara is playing the hell out of this man. And she is harping on his insecurities. She's harping on Hayden's need of needing to be wanted. And I'm sorry if I sound extra raspy because I literally just woke up like 10 minutes ago. But she's playing on his need to be wanted, to feel wanted. And I think that's something that Hayden probably never had. And it's probably something that he's always been in search of. And here he has this beautiful woman who adores him, who's sexing him like crazy. He doesn't want to let that go. And Tamara played it so cool because Hayden wanted her to sign a post-nup. Let's try this marriage for 6 months, but I need you to sign this post-nup. Tamara is like, hell no. I can't do that because that's going to mess up my money. I'm sure that's what baby girl was thinking. But she was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want you to trust me the way that I trust you. She was laying it on thick. Okay? Super thick. Hayden couldn't wiggle up out of that thing. He couldn't wiggle up out of that thing. And another thing too, Tamara was trying to put it on him before he went to work. I knew Hayden was going to cave in. And the sad part is he is sincerely in love with this woman. And sadly, she's not. She's the best gold digger that Madam had. And Tamara is doing her damn job. So we get to Maurice and Sabrina, and I'm going to just tie all their stuff together. They're in the car, and she gets a call from the DA. He wants to talk to her in person. She was a little quick with him over the phone because, of course, she's scared. She's nervous. She doesn't know what's going on, and the DA is unwilling to tell them anything over the phone. Andy spoke with him as well. He's not telling her anything over the phone, so they're going to meet at her office. When Sabrina and Maurice arrive at the law firm, Sabrina comes in, she's her nice, chippy self. She speaks to Fatima. Zach automatically got like a unit on his face when he sees her. And I said, it's amazing to me how he has an attitude with all the women that he not having sex with. He just have an attitude and sucks his teeth regardless of the woman if she ain't trying to give up no coochie or if he ain't trying to get coochie from her. He just has like this all the time attitude with these women. And it's so intriguing to me and not in a good way. Maurice does the absolute most. And I don't blame Zach for responding the way that he did. This goes back to when I say the character of Maurice, I used to like him somewhat in the beginning. He always got on my nerves to some extent, but I could deal with him. I could tolerate him. Now, he's not even tolerable. He's turned into a character that I could do without. The fact that he knows that Zach is not gay, he knows that men are not Zach's preference to date. Why would you approach this man like this? And these are the things I'm talking about. It's as if Maurice has the freedom to approach men in an aggressive way with sexual innuendos and connotations, and people are just supposed to let that slide. I just have a big issue with that because when it's done to him, or if someone shows their disdain or their distaste for how he is approaching them, they are automatically labeled as homophobic. And I don't like that. I can't stand that. But yet he can go around here just trying to invite men and tell men to take him out. He works a nerve. Maurice works a damn nerve. But let me tell you who was one of my MVPs this episode. That darn Andy Barnes. And y'all know I don't even rock with chick like that. But anytime she gets with Maurice, it does my heart joy. It does my heart joy. Now, we've already had a situation where Andy had to get Maurice together once before when he was in jail. The fact that Maurice continued to call this woman a itch with a B in front of it several times after she told him that she did not like it. I do not know you that well. Stop. I just say B. B. I'm sorry, ho. Maurice would have got kicked out of my office. And the fact that I'm looking at Sabrina and you are not correcting this man from talking to your quote unquote best friend or sister in that way, it just behooves me. It just really behooves me how reckless Maurice's mouth is, and he ain't been punched in that mug yet. Well, I'm not going to go there, but anyway. He just does too much, and it's not entertaining. It's disgusting to me, the way that he talks to these women. It's just beyond disrespect. Long story short, when the DA comes, we find out that Maurice and Sabrina Basically, everything, the charges have been eradicated. Q is going to stand trial. They don't have to worry about anything. The DA also knows their boss at the bank, and I believe they're going to get their jobs back. So they were ecstatic about that. Then he tells Maurice that he needs to be careful of the company that he keeps. And Maurice is looking around as if the DA wasn't talking to him. And he was like, who the F is he talking to? And I'm like, what? It's over the top. It's team too much. I can honestly do without Maurice. Even though I am happy we ain't got to deal with this robbery storyline anymore. I don't know where we're going with Maurice. I think he's supposed to get like a love interest. I don't even care. I could give two hot dams about this love interest that Maurice is supposed to get because he hasn't earned it. He hasn't earned anything. That's just me. Then there's a quick scene with Karen and Pam. When I tell y'all the repetitiveness of dialogue this episode was excruciating. This was probably some of the worst writing I have seen on Sistas. Almost every character repeated themselves 2 to 3 times. It's worse than what it normally is. It was bad. So we see Karen and Pam there outside of her salon, and she wants to go inside to see, the damages or whatever. And Pam is trying to convince her to stay outside. Number 1, you really don't know what's going on. 2, it could be detrimental to your baby. And so Karen tells her that she's going to be single for a while and she's not dealing with men. And so Pam was like, well, that might change. And Pam starts talking about the contractor that is inside, that he's fine. And she doesn't want him to see Karen because he might like her. And I said, okay. So Pam states that, Aaron is ready to take care of his baby. And Karen lets her know that the baby is Zach's. It's Zach's baby. She's 100% positive that that's Zach's child. And I said, I'm going to save my thoughts for later. But this whole thing with this paternity, and even in season 7, we are still dealing with the paternity of this child, which lets me know that Tyler Perry is about to throw a wrench in this whole thing, and he going to piss me off with whatever he decide to do. But you know what? It's Tyler's world. We just watching. But when the contractor comes out, it is the one and only Jason Weaver, Hakuna Matata, the singing voice of young Simba in The Lion King, the one who played Lil Michael Jackson in the Jackson's American Dream movie. Okay, the one and only Jason Weaver. And so he plays this contractor who can't tell Karen an estimate. I said, what? He couldn't give her an estimate on what the cost would be to fix her salon. I said, in what world? Even if he couldn't give an accurate number, you couldn't give an approximate. I said, this is, okay, Tyler, okay. He have to call somebody to come in because the salon is filled with asbestos. They got to basically remodel everything, get all new equipment, everything. So Pam is yet flirting with him. So Karen tells him that Pam likes him. And even though he is, I guess, charmed, we find out that he is married with 7 kids. Pam was like, oh, hell no, Brady Bunch, I'm good on you. I said, dang, 7 churn? But he talked about how they adopted 2 sets of twins and her sister's kids. I said, okay, you got a lot going on. Okay, baby. 7 is the number of completion. I hope you and your wife completed. I hope y'all done, because 7 ain't no way. But it was a little cute, quick scene. Pam is still concerned about a job. And she tells Karen, she might have to get another job. And Karen tells her, well, you got to do what you got to do. And I think at this point, I was reading some comments, and I think people want Karen to be able to provide something that she's not able to provide. She cannot give financial security at this moment. So Pam, go get another job. Go to the temp agency, get you a little temp job until Karen opens back up. There are many things that can be done when it comes to getting your finances in order while you're waiting for the shop to be rebuilt. That's just the way that I see it. So we get to Fatima and Zach, and they are in her office because, of course, Zach don't work. And Fatima makes a reference to that, even stating that maybe Zach needs to fill out a job application at the law firm. I ain't gonna lie, that was funny. That was funny to me because Zach was trying to throw shots by asking her, like, this all you do at work? Why you be so tired? And I'm like, no, sir, because you're her other job. Remember, she has to put out your fires. She has to leave her job to go to these special lunches, to go to your baby mama house with you, to go look at houses with you, to just do these random things with you because you can't make a decision without Fatima co-signing it. You can't pick the toilet paper to use to wipe your own ass without asking Fatima which brand you should use. Which one is the softest, Fatima? Which one really gets the mess, Fatima? Because you can't make decisions on your own, Zach. So Fatima can't really do her work because she's constantly doing yours. Hell, she comes in work early to deal with your custody issues. She set up a meeting with the lawyer for your emergency custody issue. So she's doing multiple jobs, sir. And if I was Fatima, I probably would have said it. But for the sake of keeping the peace, I understand why she didn't. Fatima tells Zach that maybe he needs to go hood when it comes to his son. And I've already made reference to this. Zach is on probation for armed robbery. Zach has a history of violent behavior where he has gotten arrested multiple times since the show has been on. This ain't the time for him to be going hood on anybody. This is the time for Zach to be going by the book as close to the law as he can to gain custody or whatever he's trying to do of his son. Don't do nothing hood. Don't do nothing ghetto. This is not the time for that at all. It's just not. So I hope he dismisses the advice that Fatima is giving and stick to doing things the right way, because that's how it has to be in order for him to gain the result that he's looking for. So let's end this out with Danni and Tony. First of all, Mr. Perry, why the hell is Tony driving the truck, the van that kidnapped people? No windows in there. That was suspect as hell. Why is he driving this? And it's black. And he this big black dude. I said, what is going the hell on? So Danni arrives. She makes a statement of, oh, you're here early. You're here early because you trying to see him. This ain't no shock to you. And I got to deal with this. When did Danni get this new car? Because Tony sees her every day. How she been getting to work? Maybe I'm looking too much into it. But when he was like, oh, that's new. I said, maybe they just shouldn't have said nothing. We know that Danni totaled her car when she ran into Jonah. But how... Anyway, it's not even important. That's not important, Alicia. So they're having this conversation about Jason not calling. I think that's that boy name. Jason not calling Andy, even though he really wants to, but he ain't got no game. Now, let's just take a pause. Now, they are meeting the men tonight for dinner at his house. So what does it matter if he called Andy or not? Anywho, Tony tells Danni that he wants to shoot his shot because he really likes her. And I honestly believe that he does. Danni definitely is, the feeling is mutual. Danni has not rejected anything that Tony is throwing her way. She is very open to it. Her curiosity has been sparked and she is intrigued by him and with him. So he brings up Preston and all of a sudden Preston shows up. Like, what you said about me? I said Preston. When Danni told you to get out the house, I'm sure she didn't mean for you to come up to her job. But you know what? I can't even be mad at Preston because I know he was able to sense that something was wrong. Something was up with Danni. She wasn't acting herself. So he's going to go to the job to see what was up. And now he sees it's another man. It's another dude. Because just 48 hours ago, Danni was, we're committed, we're official. I'm giving girlfriend behavior, girlfriend energy. And no, you're not. You don't even want to be with Preston. It was just something to do. It sounds good. That's all it was. And like I've said several times, Preston was nothing more than a pleasurable distraction for Danni. After everything that took place in her life, that's all it was. And that's all that happened in last night's episode. That was legit. I wish I could erase the memory of this episode out of my mind because that was a whole, 42 minutes of my life. Well, not 42 minutes. That's 42 minutes, no commercials. But a whole hour of my life. And I'm just like, I could have, anyway, I ain't gonna say what I could have did with the hour, but we grown. I want to thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate y'all so much. And for those who are continuing the ride with Sisters for season 6, you know what I'm saying? I am eagerly waiting and anticipating season 7. I am not expecting like a huge turnaround. I just want to see what other people would do having the opportunity to write for these characters. That's what I'm most intrigued by. But until next time, I will holler at y'all later. Thank you to all the new subscribers, to everyone who comments, to everyone who DMs me, emails me. I appreciate you. I appreciate your feedback, whether we're on the same wavelength or not. I appreciate you taking the time to hit me up. So until next time, y'all be safe out there, and I will holler at y'all later. Bye.